Hey everyone, Andrew here, otherwise known as that guy who wrote the last Law of Attraction book you'll ever need to read. And I'm really pumped for today's guest. We were actually featured on a Law of Attraction summit very recently, and
Big shout
I
out to
I
Selena, man.
yeah, props to Selena for connecting us. And that's the thing. Like I noticed you, and I remember the book that you wrote years ago, and I took it upon myself to kind of like hassle Selena, like, hey, can you connect me with this person, make an introduction because I would love to have a conversation, not knowing that we wouldn't get here. I just wanted to have a conversation, interact because I'm talking to Michael Samuels, the author of Just Ask the Universe, a no nonsense guide to manifesting your dreams, and even it was after I understood the law of attraction and what it really means in my life. I read this afterward just because I was still in, let me still consume and let me still see awesome books. And this one really stood out to me. And the reason that I really wanted to have a conversation with you is because, well, I really do believe every or almost every law of attraction author is very well intentioned. Not everyone can deliver something in a way that is a very clear, open invitation to not overthink this, to not judge yourself, to not make it be or feel so hard, and just lean in and accept help from the universe and accept that they have to do their part. And I don't know, there was just a vibe to this book. It isn't overly long. It hits, it's very punchy, it gets to it. And I just wanted to have a conversation and talk. And, before we knew it, we were having arrangements to be on each other's shows. So with that really long extended intro out of the way, Michael Samuels, thank you so much for being here and welcome to my YouTube channel.
Andrew, my pleasure, man. Thank you. And really, truly, like, thank you for reaching out via Selena. I mean, that was like one of the coolest moments of my life where Selena's like, yo, we got a guy here who wrote this amazing book and he wants to be introduced to you and he doesn't want to like offend you. I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm like, offend me? Like I'll give autographs to anyone. I don't care. Like to me, I'm just a normal dude who just, who happened to have written a few books. One of them a best-selling self-help book that's, can you believe, 10 years old? Like I
Oh my
wrote that
God.
book in 2011 and we're in 2021 now. Like
It's funny how time flies. And correct me if I'm wrong, you sold what, 500,000 copies?
yeah, yeah, that book has been in every corner of the earth, and I still get emails today from people saying that that book has helped them, get the job they want, the wife they want, the boyfriend they want, anything, and it really it's helped people. It helps people start businesses, and really and truly, I was just kind of like, I don't want to say this in like a bad way, but like regurgitating what I've learned over the
Mhm.
past 10 years before 2011, the past, 15 years, because really it's the journey, Andrew. And by the way, thank you for having me on and thank you for coming on my podcast, Okon Bros.
Mhm.
You know, great guest, amazing. You love your book. You
Thank you.
know, it literally is, people don't need to buy Just Ask the Universe because you need the last law of attraction book you'll ever need to read, right?
Thank you. Well, I'm glad we got you at least 500, 500,000 in the can before saying that, right?
I would like to mention I still don't have the yacht yet. So like when people go, "Oh my God, you sold a 500,000 copies," I did sell a 500,000 copies, and it was over 10 years, and it was rewarding. But I put that out for 99 cents. I mean, $2 or something. Like to me, it wasn't about the money. It was about helping people and getting this message to everyone on planet Earth to say, like, okay, the secret is real. Maybe it wasn't executed in the way that you wanted to hear, but the power of your subconscious mind is real. And I just compiled an Anthony Robbins personal power 2 program is real. The science of getting rich. It's all real. It's how you implement it. And that's what I did as I condensed 300 books and I,
Hmm.
I put it into Just Ask the Universe on like a simple system to get what you want, and it works. And I have leveled up my game since then. And I know we'll talk about that, but because it doesn't stop. You go, oh, I wrote Just Ask the Universe. I asked the universe for things, and I can manifest anything I want. Like you level up your life. Like law of attraction to me is elementary school. It's K through 5 or K through 6 to some districts, but um, I love that it helps so many people because it's the truth, man. I mean, I'm not some snake oil salesman who's like, buy my book, do this, and you're gonna become a billionaire. It's not like that, dude. It's the journey. It's who you become as a person that matters.
Yeah. It's interesting because I think we read a book and, we'll assume that we've never seen a person on camera or heard their voice or anything like that. And our brain builds up a construct of who they might be. I noticed about your book, it was very it wasn't abrasive, but it was unapologetically, um, you know,
No fluff.
unpretentious or non-pretentious. We'll
No
put it
fluff.
that way. And
Right.
I talk to you, and your personality matches that. Even though like you're not the same person that the book would be, that level of listen, you can do this. It's cool. Don't stress yourself out so much. Embrace the power of the universe. Embrace the power of your subconscious mind. Let it be demonstrated for you rather than trying to force it. Again, this is my interpretation of it.
Yeah,
I
no,
do
you're
think it's
nailing it.
interesting that you have an author and a book, and some things are always going to line. I know when people first read my book, they're not expecting some dude who's wearing a hat, rocking a hat in YouTube every single time, and he's always got his book in the background and telling people about it in that way. But it doesn't matter. It's like it's all about that message of getting out to people.
Absolutely. And when I sit down to write Just This the Universe, so like my family and I own a ground travel service. Like we own a limousine service. It was kind of decimated by COVID. We're coming back now. With things are definitely looking on the up and up, which is good. But you know, it was trying. But before I sat down to write anything, I've been a writer since I'm in college. You know, high school. Like I've been writing screenplays since college. And when I sat down to write Just Ask the Universe, I was literally sitting down with you.
Mm.
I didn't know who you were, but I knew I was sitting down with Andrew Cap. I knew I was sitting down with Selena Valentine. I knew I was sitting down with friends, one person, and I was writing that book. It took me 3 weeks to write Just Dance. No baloney. 3 weeks. It was like I guess like from May, the month of May, right shy of my birthday, and it took me 3 weeks to write it. But I was writing it like I was sitting down with you at Peter Luger's in Brooklyn or in Great Neck, and we were sitting and talking about what I've learned and how this can help you. If you came to go, look, I need help. I'm not where I am in life. I'm not where I want to be. I don't have the wife I want. I don't have the friends I want. I don't have the career I want. Let me tell you what I've learned.
Mm.
You don't say anything. Let me explain to you what I've learned because this shit works. And I literally sat down and I spoke exactly how you and I would talk, how I would talk to you in a restaurant, just you and me. And the idea of Just Ask the Universe was born. And I actually bought the domain Just Ask the Universe. I tried to buy Ask the Universe, and
Yep.
then I was taken. I'm like, you know what? Fine. How about Just Ask the Universe? And that wasn't taken. I bought that, and that started my actual book writing career. And I'm 20 something books in.
I love it.
Yeah, and we'll jump more into that. But the idea of I hate fluff. I hate when I'm reading a book and they're meandering on and on and on. It's like, dudes, just get to the point. Like this is why I bought the book. I don't want to know about your life story. Give me a brief description of your life story. I'm interested, but like
Mm.
get to the point. How
Yeah.
can I? Why did I buy this book? Did I buy this book to read the fluff and fluff and fluff and fluff? No, I want to know a system that's going to work for me because I want to start. I want to get on with it. And I read hundreds of books on law of attraction, universe, archangels, everything. And the ones that strike the chord are the ones that really stick out for me. The simplest, easiest forms that don't meander. Your book is one of the books that cuts right to the chase, right?
Thank you.
You didn't talk about, who you were. You didn't talk about, I was born in New York in the 70s, and this is what my life. No, you said, look, listen, I have a system here. Start with number one. And that's exactly what I did. And the best reviews I get for Just Ask the Universe are people going, you cut out the bullshit. You cut out the fluff. You went
Hmm.
right to what you gave a little background on you, a little credentials of that. Like, I'm not some schmuck who doesn't know anything. I did the research. I tested this stuff out for years. I didn't try it out for 2 weeks and go, oh, I'm going to write a book now. I wanted to be the authority on the universe. And and I wrote it as a conversation, and that's what really grabs people. And that's
Hmm.
why I write all my books is I write it like I'm sucking you into my universe and we're having a conversation. I write that like that for all of my books.
I love it. And a quick aside: Ask the Universe versus Just Ask the Universe.
Huge difference.
I think,
Huge difference.
yeah, I think way better title, and I think just one example of many that someone might not realize if they're not really looking for it. but that was a limit. That was a wall that was put in front of you. And it was more of an invitation of like, no, actually, Michael, here's something better for you. And
100%.
I think it's really important for us to look at certain things like a job that we want or don't get, or if that car doesn't come in the right color, or if that how, whatever it might be going on, there might be something better. And I'm going to kind of tee you up here because while you didn't throw in a lot of fluff about your life, you used a couple of relevant stories and relevant examples. One of which is I'll even begin the story where you got Tony Robbins' Personal Power 2. And one of those steps is in terms of writing, like just writing out everything that you want. And I guess I'll tee it up to you because this had an impact on your relationship, correct?
100%. 100%. So writing down something you want is so powerful. I can't explain it enough. It's journaling. You could put whatever euphemism you want on it. Like right now, like I have a good friend, Michael Sandler, who runs the Inspire Nation podcast, and he came out with this new book. He's going to be on our show in a couple weeks, and his thing is all about scripting your life and journaling your life. Like I learned that from Anthony Robbins. I think it was like day 14 of the Anthony Robbins Personal Power 2 program, where he's like, all right, now we're going to write down your goals. This was like one of the most life-changing moments of my life. He's like, write down your goals. So I started writing down my goals, you know, the type of woman I wanted in my life, the type of business I want my company sales want to do. Um, the biggest one was flying private. And I'm not saying this to impress you or the audience. I'm saying this to impress upon you of like, this is how powerful this stuff is. And I said, I want to write down, I want to fly on a private plane. When I wrote this down, that would be like me saying to you right now, my book Monsterland, and we'll get into that shortly. My book Monsterland is going to be as big as Star Wars, right? Like I wrote this book in 2014. It's being turned into a screenplay right now. There's a lot of great stuff happening with it. But when I say I want my book to be as big as Star Wars, I want to be like George Lucas. That is so out there from where I am right now in my life. But I've been living that life for years. I feel it, I see it, I sense it. When I said I want to fly on a private plane, that was like me saying I want to be in, I want my book to be like as big as Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
3 years later, I flew on a private plane, and it was like, I didn't even realize I wrote it down. Right. And like, it was like a circumstance, like not like I'm bragging, like, oh, I fly private. It's not nothing like that at all. I flew on a private plane. It was due to a fortuitous circumstance coming from Vegas back to New York. We had to fly on a private plane. And I looked at my book. I'm like, uh, 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 this, I have to put this into a book.
Yeah.
This is real. When I wrote down the type of woman I wanted, I just came off a really lousy relationship. There's no offense to that person. It didn't work out. It was a lot of fighting, a lot of screaming on both parts, and it wasn't a healthy relationship. Um, I wanted to I wanted to settle down. I wanted to get married. I wanted to have kids. It's a goal of mine since I was a young guy. And I wrote down the type of woman I wanted. I swear to God, to the height of who she is, to the religion that we share, to the to what her eye color is. And legit, that's my wife. And
Mm.
it's like, you ever see Weird Science? You
Just
ever see
create
Weird?
it, right?
I created a woman from a computer. No. But like, it's funny how how like it's as simple as that. The problem is people don't have patience,
Yeah.
and and people are like, well, and I get these emails all the time. "Ah, I asked for it, and nothing happens. My life sucks." I'm like, stop saying your life sucks.
Yes, thank you.
Stop.
Stop saying it's not coming. Stop saying it's not coming. Stop saying where is it, because where is it is another way of saying it's not
It's not
coming. Stop
there.
doing that to yourself.
Right. You have to live your life like you already have it. And I know that's really difficult. Like Wallace Waddle says, you have to think health in the appearance of disease.
Mm-hmm.
You have to think wealth in the appearance of poverty. And if you think that, it will manifest around you. It just takes time. And that's where people drop the ball, is that they think that they're going to ask the universe, they're going to write down their goals, right? They program their subconscious mind, and like they're just going to sit on the couch and, that's it. Like, we're done. It's the further, like, you have to cold call for your business until someone says yes. You have to join social media like what you're doing. I have a lot of respect for what you're doing. And you have to become famous, and you have to grind your ass off. And for anyone that's going to go, oh, I asked the universe, it didn't happen. You got to ask the universe, and then you have to work for it.
Mm-hmm.
The
Yes.
universe will know what you want. You got to live the life you want by working towards that goal. I want to be a world famous author. I want my books to be turned into movies. I want that. I know it's going to happen. I talk about vision boards. I made a poster of my book and I signed it to myself.
I love that.
I made a movie poster. I put them up all over my house, in my basement, in the bedrooms. I put it up and I signed it to myself. To Michael, all the best, Michael. That may sound nuts, but I'm living that reality right now. I've been living that reality for with my books about 5 years, 6 years.
Right.
I've been living in that that life of not fame. It's not about the fame for me. It's about the accomplishments, and that's the absolute truth. It's about accomplishing something that seems impossible,
Yeah, it's about
right?
impact, right?
It's about impact. It's about touching every single audience, about having people listen to your voice or your words of encouragement or your story, having the masses listen to you. That's what inspires me to write. That's what
Mm,
inspires me to do the podcast. My real name is Michael Okon. I chose Michael Samuels because I didn't really want people knowing who Michael Okon was. And then when it came time to it, my journey brought me to putting my real name on all of my books.
yes.
And so my middle name is Samuel, so I figured out Michael Samuel and put an S at the end of it just to for shits and giggles. But
Yeah.
um,
And good point. People want to find just that's the universe. They're going to look for Michael Samuels, but
right,
all these other things that you're doing, you've come out with your full name, Michael Oken. So that'll
correct.
be good. And just a quick takeaway, hearing you say these things. Number one, you're talking about like you have to work. And please, stop me if you disagree with what I'm saying here. It's like you're gonna work really hard, but it's gonna be a labor of love. It's gonna be worth it to you.
Absolutely. I'm not joking when I say this. I literally said this yesterday. No baloney. I'm retired.
Mm,
I have never worked a day in my life. I
I
swear to
love
God. And that's not to sound conceited. That's not to sound egotistical. I love what I do. I have three jobs. I have three full-time jobs, not including being a father and a husband. Okay. That's a whole other universe. I am the president of my family's global car service.
that. Mm,
That again was decimated by COVID, but between my mom, my brother, me, and the leadership of the company, we kept it afloat and we're doing okay. We're coming out of it. My second job is this podcast that I have with my brother, this Oaken Bros podcast. We talk about the universe and archangels and spirituality and business and food and gambling and being a bro. That's been a labor of love for me. And when I go online or when I go live with him, to me, it's like party time, bro. This is great. And my third job, then I don't even, it's just, is me writing. And that's in the evening when my wife and kids are asleep. I mean, I watch a little TV now that my career is like kind of more even keel, that like the screenplay is being written. I don't have to write as much. I'm still writing the books for this series, but like I'm more chill now. But I write and it's therapy for me. I have never worked a day in my life.
mm.
That's just the way I felt. That's the way I was raised. And you nailed it. It's a labor of love.
Yeah. And the
You
cool
know,
thing is some things you can do and some things you can't. Like again, you meeting your wife and her being exactly who you would have hoped for without even realizing that you weird scienced
100%.
your way to her. So,
Yes.
in other words, I'm bringing this up because I want people to understand that there's going to be things that are within their control and things that are not within their control. But a key throughout all of this, and like we were talking about, stop saying it's not working, a little trick, and I don't ever think I articulate this in my book, but the reason to me that gratitude is so important is because you want to enjoy your journey on the way to what you want, not just because your life's going to be better, but also because strategically it's going to invite those things with so much more easier. So, I mean, I imagine your wife is about infinitely more important than flying on that private plane. But the
Oh,
cool thing is,
100%.
you
Yeah.
got both of them. You got one as a little like, wink nod from the universe, like, hey, remember that thing? This works. But then you got the one like where it's like, okay, here's a real impact on your life that's so important. It works. It doesn't matter whether it's small or big. Sometimes there's going to be labor. Sometimes it's going to be dropped in your lap. Sometimes you don't know which one it's supposed to be. All you need to know is that if it's something that's important, work out of a sense of inspiration, invite things in, enjoy the journey, knowing that your enjoyment of the journey not only fulfills your life more, but makes the journey accelerate and kind of like beef up so that it's going to be a way better thing on the tail
100%.
end as well.
100%. I could not have said that any better. You have to enjoy the process because life is a process. I've had really down days in the last 10 years. Like people
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, you wrote Just Ask the Universe. You're probably, you know, you're jumping up and clicking your heels together as as you like leave a room. No, it's nothing like that. I have a life. I work. I've had COVID was horrible. I lost two people that I was close with, family members, kind of like outer skirt family members. Um, it, you know, life is hard, man. It's not peaches and cream of like, oh, you wrote it, the universe magically manifests. I never wanted to convey that in Just Ask the Universe. Like I still got up every morning and my shoulder was hurting me today. And it's like, all right, so I'm not going to focus on that. I'm going to focus on the good stuff. Like tonight I'm going live with my brother. We go live every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Okon Bros. And it's like, yeah, come on and come listen to the bros talk about, life and the universe. And all of our friends come on and, but like I lost my father 3 years ago. And it was one of the worst days of my life. I saw my dad, he had lung cancer. He smoked his whole life. He didn't give it up. And he beat the lung cancer, but the COPD got him. And to see you're someone that you love so much and someone that raised you and instilled their values in you, see them fall apart. I mean, that was in between the 10 years of Just Ask the Universe. And it absolutely sucked, but I didn't let it be a theme of my life.
Mm.
That I let the day hurt, and burying him was actually more therapeutic than I thought it would be. It was my sending off of my father. And I've been in touch with him. I go to mediums. I don't know if people out there believe in it or not, but my mom's a medium, Lady Phyllis. I'm going to plug her, ladyphyllis.com. She's a
Hmm.
full legit medium, and she learned the skill through a mediumship school and through tutors and teachers and everything. And we talked to our dad, and he's guiding us from the other side, and he's given us nuggets of facts about the universe from wherever there is, where it could be here or there. But you know, life is still a journey, and that kind of brings me into what I've learned more recently. Um, I asked my dad before he passed away, Dad, when you get there, you got to let us know the secrets of the universe. You have to tell us. We'll talk to you through the mediums. We know we have a few local mediums that are legit, like real, unbelievable. They've been interviewed on Okon Bros. And my dad came through and he's like, Mike, he's like, the archangels are real. He's like, I'm with them, I'm hanging out with them, and they're helping you. And when my dad died, in 3 years that he's passed, the craziest, weirdest shit has happened in our life. Like manifesting on steroids. Where
Mm.
like I wanted my book to get picked up by a manager, and it did, but it was like it's a mega manager. This is not some guy struggling in Hollywood. This guy is the real deal, and he was also on our podcast too. It's being turned to a screenplay. Our business was flourishing before 2020. We came out of it 2020 where a lot of our competition didn't. So my dad said the archangels are real, and I'm saying, so this is what it's all about. So I started researching magic with a K and the archangels because my dad said start researching it because it's real. And like I said, and I'm not diminishing the law of attraction. The law of attraction is the foundation for my entire existence on this in this lifetime.
Hmm.
Law of attraction is elementary school. The archangels are PhD, right? It is manifesting on a different level, and that's part of the journey, Andrew. Like, if I was so dogmatic about my approach and go, no, it's just ask the universe. You just ask the universe and you're done. That's it. Like, I'd be hurting myself. You,
Right.
you have to be open to everything, right? The archangels are different than law of attraction. It's different than the universe. It's kind of the same idea, right? About manifesting and seeking help and assistance, and they can help you help yourself. But the journey of never ending learning is literally never ending. You ever see the never ending story? It's a never ending story for me, because after the archangels, who knows what's going to happen next? Because you're open to that type of stuff.
Yeah. And it's interesting. There's so many ways to even interpret what you're talking about.
Mhm.
You could say, well, this is elementary school, this is high school, this is PhD.
Right.
And also because I mean, we spoke about this last week, and just because I'm still a person, I mean, I'm pretty set in my ways. Like this is good, but I'm not closed off to learning new things. I'm
Right.
reading up on that. We'll probably talk about that more off camera.
Sure.
But the point I'm making is is this not another thing, another vantage point by which the universe is giving to you, this time in the form of
Exactly.
archangels? It's like,
Exactly.
like, just ask the universe, law of attraction, archangels. These are all things by which you say, I am asking for something in a pure sense of heart. I am inviting it in. I am doing my part from here, and I'm letting things progress and go up in whatever way. And
That is brilliant what you just said. That is I'm starting a new book called Just Ask the Archangels. That is
cool.
absolutely genius what you said, that the archangels just part of Just Ask the Universe. That's
Yes.
that's a part of it. That's unbelievable. I got to write that down. You got to
Yeah,
remind
well,
me of
you're going
that.
to get the recording of this. And by the way,
Yeah.
in case I forgot if we had this conversation last time, grab that URL before I publish this. We don't want anyone else grabbing it up from you.
Right. Yeah, no, I got it. So it's all good.
Awesome, awesome,
Yeah.
cool. So yeah, so it's really cool. And by the way, just as an aside, again, you were just saying you're not very rigid or dogmatic of it's just ask the universe. You as a law of attraction author, and by the way, an accomplished, in my view, law of attraction author, and in
Thank
my
you.
view, a really proficient, really efficient, really awesome law of attraction author.
Thank you,
Not to
brother.
blow smoke.
Thank you.
You've given yourself permission to say, I'm not the law of attraction guy. I don't have to be the law of attraction guy.
Right.
I have this thing and I'm going to give it to you, and please use it, see if it works, but I'm not going to keep myself stuck in a box to meet expectations of someone else.
100%.
Rather, I'm going to keep an open invitation to see if there is some other way by which I can communicate this value to you. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Maybe I'm going to hop off on, there's fairies that look like ostriches, and like I'm on that, and then 5 years later I realize actually that's not the thing. I'm cool with looking at it. I'm cool with not looking at it. I'm cool with sticking with just ask the universe if that's working for people. I'm cool with last law of attraction book you all need to read. I'm cool with whatever is working and clicking for me and resonates with me as a person. And I think that's a really good message for people to keep in mind, whether they're a law of attraction author or they're any other thing where life or people around them are expecting them to be one specific thing that may not be their truth all the time.
100%. And the idea that, this system is the only system you should be using. Yeah, it's I've sold 500,000 copies of Just Ask the Universe. My book is being turned into a feature film screenplay by an award-winning screenwriter. We're getting out of COVID, right? The light is at the end of the tunnel. Um, my family's health, business, travel, like, but I'm still on the journey, right? It's the process. If if you would have said you sell 500,000 copies of the last law of attraction book you'll ever need to read, are you done? Are you like, I'm done? That's it. I did it. I sold 500,000 copies. I'm done. That's it. I got the yacht. I got the plane. I got the wife. I got the kid. I'm done. I don't need to do it. No, it's leveling up, and all your life is just leveling up. And Just Ask the Universe should be a beacon on your journey. It should be just like a light on a light post on your journey of life. That this is a really important light post, and it's really eye opening. It's opening up the next mile for me, right? Just Ask the Universe, the last law of attraction book you'll ever need to read. It's opening the next mile, and it's expanding my awareness to Joseph Murphy, Wallace Waddles, John Osseroff, Joe Vitale. It's opening us up to these other people, that there's something else out there. But where's the journey going to take me after that? That it's not just I read one book, I got the $1,000,000, I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
It's nothing like that. This 500,000 sold books has funded my other book career. Right. So every dollar I made went right back into me writing books. And my mom is my publicist and my manager. She's publicizing the books, and she's, pushing the books out there on Facebook. And we actually had a publicist, and unfortunately we had to let her go because of COVID. But so my mom took over the responsibilities, and so we're doing it like that. But dude, I'm 42 years old, and I feel like I'm just getting started. I wrote Just Ask the Universe when I was 32 years old. And I said to myself, man, one day if I ever sell 500,000 copies of Just Ask the Universe, I'm going to have the boat, the plane, and the mega mansion. It's nothing like that.
Yes, but here's the cool part. That doesn't mean the book and the yacht and the mega mansion are not far behind. We don't know.
Oh, absolutely. And I know I'm going to get there. I know this book Monsterland is going to be huge. I know it. I know it's going to take off. I have a crack team in LA who make movies happen. Like, that's their job. Their job is to turn books into movies, and they're doing it.
I
So
love it.
it's exciting. I'm so optimistic. It's already been optioned. It was optioned by a mega producer, and the option ran out. He hired 2 Disney screenwriters to pitch me the take, and it was crazy and it was cool, but the option ran out, and I actually unfortunately had to get rid of that agent that was representing me, and I'm now with this mega manager who's this great guy whose job is to turn books into films. And like, I,
So
I'll, you're invited on the yacht when I get it.
I love it. And, with that in mind, I want to offer an observation to you because
Sure.
I'm looking forward to being on that yacht. I'll sail over for my yacht, right? Um,
We'll
so
bump yachts.
I think we had this conversation last time we were speaking where you had noticed one of my videos about The Miz, if I'm not mistaken.
Hell yeah, dude.
And the cool thing about that video, and just the cool thing about that thing, and me being an old school wrestling fan back in the day, was I remember watching The Miz on the Real World pretending to be WWF, that is the WWE champion, and he's like, I'm The Miz and blah blah blah. And then you cut to 10 years later, and you actually see him doing it. And the memory I have of that, which I think was probably like 1 year before you published your book,
Mm-hmm.
it's funny how all those things link up. I remember watching him do it, and it was the closest thing I'd ever come to becoming champion myself because I was there in that moment to see. You don't see Tom Brady in his room practicing his football throw or Michael Jordan practicing his jump shot when he's a
Exactly.
kid. You're not there to see that. You just see the finished product.
Correct.
I saw the beginning of that, and by that same token, I'm having this conversation with you about a book that until I met you, I'd never heard of, that I feel like a couple of years from now, it's going to be this huge movie. And I'm going to be able to think like, whoa, this is the closest thing, because I don't plan to make a movie of this. This is the closest thing I've ever come to being the person that's kind of lives vicariously through you and sees that book made into like a huge movie. And like, how cool is that? And I really want people to hear me make that point because there are things in your life and people surrounding you and things that you're on your way to that are going to blow your mind where you're like, wow, a couple years ago, it didn't even seem like a possibility. It didn't seem like that woman that I wrote down on my list would be to the letter exactly what I was hoping for, along with the perk of flying on a plane. But all these things are possible. You want to work in inspired action, but this stuff is real. And it's kind of like we're planting this flag right here. Obviously this isn't the first time you've spoken of it, but this is going to be a perfect video where you can go back, hey, 2021, look at this video I did in this channel where I'm talking about it when it wasn't a movie, and look at what's been now. Things like this really do happen.
Chris Pratt, if I don't know if you're a Jurassic Park fan, but Chris
Yeah.
Pratt was
Yeah.
in Jurassic World. You know that,
Mm-hmm.
right? In the on I have Apple TV, so on the Apple TV, we own Jurassic World. My kids are obsessed with Jurassic Park, and in the video, Chris Pratt says he's recording himself. I think he was recording on his phone, saying, "Hey, Mr. Spielberg." This is when he was like homeless. He's like, "Hey, Mr. Spielberg, thanks for calling me to let me star in the new Jurassic Park movie." And like he said in an interview, I asked the universe to be in this movie, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, whatever the case. And he got the starring role in the Jurassic Park series. Like, there's unlimited stories. The Miz. So my son and I were obsessed with wrestling. We went to WrestleMania in New York when it was in Jersey in
2013, right?
2018. The
20.
new
Okay, got it.
yeah. What was 2019? I don't remember. It was
There was
2018.
it was twice. I went the first time, but I think
Yeah,
there was another one after.
ridiculous, big, enormous, like bigger than you could. Being on that field and seeing the ring, it was so massive and it was so amazing, and it was one of the greatest moments that I've had with my son. My daughter wasn't into it at the time, and I saw the Miz and Shane fight, and I'm not a huge wrestling fan, but like I was enjoying it because my son was enjoying it. And I remember I was a huge Real World fan. I mean, I grew up on the Real World, right?
Mm-hmm.
MTV was on in my room 24 hours a day growing up. And I remember watching The Miz live the life of a wrestler. He was legit living that on camera. And you say, at the time, you're like, this guy's nuts. He's like, I'm a wrestler. And you think like, the guy's crazy. He wants to be a wrestler. A few years later, massive contract with WWE, worked his way up, and he busted his ass. And he's something to be reckoned with. He's got Miz and
Ms. and Mrs.
Miz and Mrs. on I think USA Channel or E Entertainment or something. But like, this guy lived this life, and
Yes.
I've been doing that with myself for years, for decades of living. But it's not about the fame, and I want to say, like, the Kardashians live it, and it worked for them, but I don't want that. Like, I don't
Yeah.
want. I'm not into. I don't want to
Some
be.
people, it's like, careful what you ask for. That fame is a harsh spotlight.
To me, it's not about the fame. I can't stress this enough. To me, it's not about the fame. I don't care about the fame. To me, it's about the accomplishment. And
Mm,
I did it. I made it. I did it. I put my mind to it. I applied every rule that I learned, and I worked my ass off to get that while having fun.
yes.
Right? Not working and doing things that I didn't want to do. I wanted to do this. I
Yeah,
wanted
you
to
were
write the
not out
books.
of integrity with who you are as a person as you were busting your ass.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And you got to maintain that integrity. And listen, you make mistakes in life. That we're only human. People make mistakes. Repent of your mistakes, apologize to that person, and move on. Seek help. I've been through therapy. I just started doing hypnotism. I love it. I don't know if you've ever dealt with hypnotism before.
I haven't. Well, I mean, I've been
Selena,
to places where I'll experiment unless someone tried on me. My brain so far has been too closed off to let them in.
bro, Andrew, I'm telling you, Selena introduced me. I said to Selena, I'm like, you do hypnotism? She's like, yes, and it helped me with the death of her loved one. I'm like, I would love to learn this. I'm like,
Mm,
this is another goal. This is another gaslit post on my journey. Right?
I
It's
love it.
just ask the universe. It's the law of attraction. It's archangels. It's mediumship. It's spirituality. It's hypnotism. Don't close your mind off to learning, right? So worst case scenario, so I tried the hypnotism, nothing happened. It is what it is. I think it made a huge impact on my life. I tried it and I loved it. I'm going to do it again. And it's nothing like those silly stage shows in Vegas, right? You're a chicken, like
Yeah.
it's nothing like that at all. This is about you would love this, and you should reach out to Selena to see if you can get someone. I did it, and they reach into your subconscious mind, and you
Interesting.
know all about this stuff. You read all about this stuff. You understand it. Going before you go to sleep, you program your subconscious mind. They're programming your subconscious mind with no fear, success. Whatever you want. I did mine over flying. I cringe when I would have to fly, and it's been a journey for me to get over this fear. And I put in quotes fear of flying because I know it's false evidence appearing real,
Yeah.
but I was never liked the idea of flying. I always felt very uncomfortable on airplanes. And I've gone through programs, but now I got hypnotized for it. And I think it changed. I think
Yeah.
my view of flying changed. I asked the universe to help me with my fear of flying 10 years ago. I asked the archangels, help me. I want to get over this fear of flying. I fly. Before COVID, I was on a plane every 3 weeks, completely miserable doing it, terrified. Oh, the plane taking off, landing, all this shit. I hate it. But now it's over.
Yeah.
I got hypnotized through Selena, and the universe brought us together. But dude, they literally go into your subconscious and they tickle it.
It's interesting, and I want the audience to hear me say this. When you're saying that, and I'm considering, would I ever do that? Because, and as you're getting to know me, you're understanding this about me. I'm a
Yeah, bro.
strategy guy.
Yeah.
If I went to a hypnotist, probably the first thing I would tell them is, I want you to go in and enhance my gratitude, make gratitude more my default, because
Yeah.
me, I see that as being the fuel for so many things. So I guess I'm putting that out there for people. Like, you learn new things. It's like, for me, it's not even, if anyone's suspecting, it's not in conflict with the universe or the law of attraction. I would personally, the first thing I would do is say, I'm already a very grateful person. Ramp that bad boy up. I want it to happen even more on autopilot. I want to notice even
Bro,
more things to be grateful for.
bro, they do it. It's I just did it this week. And
Mm,
I said I want to get over this fear of flying. I don't like to fly. I get this dreadful feeling. And I'm the writer of Just Ask the Universe. I'm right. I'm Mr. Universe here. Nah, man, I still have flaws.
yeah.
I don't like to fly. I'm scared of it. But you know what? I do it. I don't like it. But now what she programmed my subconscious mind with, holy shit.
Mm.
Oh my God. And she's all about neuroplasticity, NLP, programming your subconscious mind. Highly recommended. You should reach out to Selena if you want, if there's another just level up, something you want to level up in your life. And that's all I'm trying to do, Andrew, is I'm trying to level up my life because I don't want to be stagnant. Tony Robbins says, um, can I constant and never ending improvement? If um status equals death, right?
Mm.
If you're, I'm comfortable, I'm 42, I'm done, I put my hands up, I'm ready to just sit and just do not, like, it's not like that, dude. Like, work on your body, work on your mind, read a book, learn about a diet that you're interested in. Like, constant and never-ending improvement. That's how I live my life every day,
Yeah, I
every day.
love it. I love it. And you know, quick aside, because we were just talking about the Miz a couple minutes ago. I'm on hopefully on a run of I'm about to start publishing a lot more content on this channel. Get
Awesome.
you out sooner rather than later. But to date this and almost put extra pressure on me, 3 days ago, The Miz just won the WWE Championship again.
No way, really,
Again.
really. I
So
didn't know
he's
that.
still doing. He is on. He again. He's a perfect example of. And I say that because we were talking about the real world. No one, most people don't remember this, and you can't find it online because I've looked because I actually wanted to include it with my YouTube video on him.
Sure.
Back then, I mean, I haven't seen the real world in, I guess, decades at
Yeah,
this point,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Back then, they'd always had like a go away scene, like everyone leaves the house, and then you're down to a few more people, and everyone's saying goodbye, and there's one final person in the house before like they shut the camera and go.
Miz was last, right?
He was
Miz,
last, and the
yeah.
way he did it, he's in this huge place in New
Right,
York City,
right.
and you know, his empty arena, and he's holding up his toy belt, and he's talking about being the Miz, and all the fans have gone. It's like,
Right.
but there's only happy left, and he's being the Miz out like in an empty room with I guess a bunch of cameras. It was just really interesting that they went with him as the last person to leave, and that was the last image of him as that before he did a bunch of real world challenges or whatever. But that was like if you watch that, and then again you cut to his WWE career, it's like, whoa, this dude's still doing it. He's got that show on USA, Ms. and Mrs. He's got two new kids in the past couple of years.
Yep.
He was like 37 with one kid and he's 38 with two kids. Like, you know, he married someone from within WWE. She was she was a diva back at
Maurice.
the time when they were
Yep.
using that terminology. You know, now she's another superstar. And it's amazing where like, you know, he's grinding it out. That's not an easy life. A lot of travel, a lot of busy. He's missing
Yeah.
time with his family, but he cared. He loves it. And
Bro, yeah, no, I love the guy. I think what he does is great, and but there are so many people like him. Like the Miz is one example of people like Chris Pratt saying on of camera, "Hey Spielberg, give me a call. I want to be on. I want to be in the next Jurassic Park movie."
yes.
Whether he meant it. I mean, he clearly meant it because he said, "I asked the universe for this." Um, Nick Cannon, who was one of the examples in my book. Nick Cannon, this is before he divorced Mariah, obviously, but he said, I read an interview with him once, and he's like, I want to marry the biggest pop star in the world, and I want to have
Mm,
kids with her. I think I want to have kids or something. He married Mariah Carey. And they said, how did you marry Mariah Carey? He says, I asked the universe. And that
yeah.
was an example in my book. Jim Carrey. And I didn't want to put these people's names because I didn't know like what was when I wrote this. I'm like, am I allowed to put Jim Carrey or is he going to? I didn't know what to write. Jim Carrey wrote down, I want to make $20 million or $10 million a movie, and he put in his, he put a check in his envelope, in his wallet, and I think he buried his father with one of these checks. And the cable guy made $20 million for a
Yeah,
picture,
I
$10 million
remember.
something. It's everywhere, dude.
Yeah. And
Will
just for
Smith.
people listening, we know these stories because these are famous people, so the stories are accessible, but this happens to ordinary people, amazing things in their life. You know, it's like even me who like I kind of took my lumps and learned that this works if you work it back in 2008. I didn't even think about writing a book until 2019 about this. I didn't even make that choice. Like, sure, I'm like, okay, let me articulate this now. But before then, it's like I never thought I'd do this. But I think it's really important for people to understand these examples are meant to be fuel and inspiration
Yeah.
to finally give themselves permission.
Bro, you can't be Jim Carrey.
Yeah,
Andrew Cap can't be the Miz.
yeah, and I don't want to be.
Right. The Miz is the Miz.
Yes,
Jim Carrey, Will Smith is Will Smith. Jim Carrey is Jim Carrey. Oprah is Oprah. Michael Okon is Michael Okon. Like, you can't be me and I can't be you. But it's what you can do with your own life that's going to set the example for everyone else. That's that's really the truth, man. Is that like, people like, success leaves clues. But people get confused with this. Anthony Robbins said that success leaves clues. I learned about the most successful authors of all time, and I just did exactly what they did. I wrote stories and and tried to emulate how to write a really compelling story, and that's what
mm,
the Monsterland series is about. It's about a theme park with monsters, and but I didn't write The Shining Part 2. Like I didn't write Harry Potter Part 8. I wrote a story that I felt compelled to write, but I listened to people who already made it.
Mm.
I'm not trying to be like them. I'm trying
Yeah.
to be me. I'm trying to forge my own path. It's really, really, really compelling. What I'm saying here, I never even realized at this point. But you can't be the Miz, dude. You can look at what the Miz did and emulate him, but that's his own journey. Run your journey
Mm-hmm.
and be an example to the next person. You know, what does Walt Disney, Nicolas Cage, John Travolta, um, and Abraham Lincoln have in common?
What's that?
They never graduated high school.
Mm.
Peter Jackson, the guy who did Lord of the Rings, never graduated college. And here we are being told that education is everything. And it's very important, education, but it's not everything. Education is what you make of it. And
Mm.
education could be learning about the law of attraction or diet or gambling or whatever. But the idea that you have to go to school to be successful is a crock of shit. That if you want to be a lawyer, you have to go to school to become a lawyer. If you want to become an accountant, you have to go to school and become an accountant. But if you want to go to make movies or write books or be a nutritionist, you don't have to go to school for that.
Right.
A nutritionist, I think you have to get certified or something. But like, there's certain things. I didn't go to school for. I went to school for English education, and then I got my MBA in business. But you know, education is what you make of it. Walt Disney is known in every single house on planet Earth. Everyone on planet Earth knows Disney, knows the name Disney. Everyone.
Mm-hmm.
7 billion people. Everyone knows the name Disney. The guy didn't graduate high school. So what was it? It was his passion. It was his belief. It was what he was living. And the guy, I read his autobiography. It was brilliant. His biography was brilliant. So that was the university that I wrote, that, education is what you make of it. Use social media for a tool, not to stalk people, not to follow people that have no meaning in your life, that don't enhance your life. This is just my opinion, and it was in the book. And then the third book I wrote on it was Keep Calm and Ask On. And it really answered questions from Just Ask the Universe about people saying, you said I want the Ferrari, or I want the cupcakes. You can't say I want, because it means you don't have it. Look, I literally, like, I was telling people, like, just write down I want as a goal. It's not the be all and end all. You're not programming your subconscious mind with I want it and I don't have. No, you're writing down a goal. What do you want? I want this. I want this. It's your responsibility now to go get it.
Mm.
And that's what Keep Calm and Ask On was, because that was the biggest thing that people were saying to me, saying, you said I want, and that means lack. Bro, no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. I want is writing down your goal and saying, I want a brand new iPhone.
Well, to speak to that, I think it's all about, what does the language pattern mean to you? Like, when you say
Exactly.
that, does I want when you write anything, I want, I'm gonna have, I invite, all these things, I believe, and this is why I tell people to, like, tweak my stuff. Pick the language that works for you,
And I sell that to
that
people too.
feels like it's there versus lack. So
That's exactly right. And I'm not saying that my system is better than yours, or my system better than Justin Perry's, or he has a YouTube channel called Your Creators, amazing channel. But I want works for me.
yes,
It
and that's the key.
Right, it works for me. I was doing I have for a little bit. It didn't sound right to me. I have a brand new iPhone. Well, I don't have it. It sounded to me a little discouraging, to be honest. Where saying that I already have it, but I was already living my life like I already had the new iPhone. I
Yeah.
didn't have to say I have a new iPhone on my thing. It didn't work for me. I said I want a new iPhone. You know what? I'm gonna work to get this new goal. And that's what people were like really confused with. I want, I want, I want. It doesn't matter. You could write I have, you could say I am an iPhone. It doesn't matter. Write down what works for you
Mm-hmm.
and what's going to seep into your mind to propel you to that goal. That's really what it's all about. It's propelling you to get you what you want. People sitting is so focused on, but you said I want, it's not going to, it will work. If you believe it's going to work, it's going to work.
Yes. And if you don't believe it's going to work, then
And if
switch up it to make it your way.
exactly, if you go, I want's not going to work, so don't write that.
Yeah. Just say thank you for.
Right.
Boom. You're
Thank
done.
you for the new iPhone that I have. If that's what you want to do, people, there's a spectrum for everything, Andrew. There's a spectrum for everything. People go, diet, right? We could talk about diet for the next hour and a half. Carnivore is the only way to lose weight. Vegans are losing weight just fine, and the
Mm.
calorie counters are losing weight just fine. Um, Carnivore, you could only eat raw meat. The people that were eating cooked steak were just as healthy. The vegans, vegan is only the only way to do it. The vegetarians are doing just fine too. It's your belief that is what is going to make you attain that goal. If I say I want, that's like saying raw meat is the only way to eat. No, it's just an outlet that works for me. It's not to say it's going to work for you. It probably will because I've seen it a billion times through a billion different people saying, "Oh my god, I wrote down I want a brand new car. Um, I want a brand new Toyota Camry." And they get it. And they go, "Well, it worked." I said, "I know." You know, you could write down I have, and if it works, do that. Use that. That's okay. So just that, keep calm and ask on was kind of like just tweaking just ask the universe a little bit, and now I'm working on just ask the archangels to
Mm.
to
And
work on.
not to put you on a deadline, but you have an idea on when you might be putting that out?
No, 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 no. Right. So when when I was self published, when I wrote under Michael Samuels, and I wrote all of my books under Michael Philip Cash. Um, all my novels under Michael Philip Cash when I kind of elevated from self help to novels. I self publishing. I was pumping out 3-4 books a year. You know, 4 years straight. It was just like, oh, wrote another book. My brother made the cover. My mom publicized the shit out of it, and the book was out. When you're published, everything grinds to a halt. Everything grinds to a halt, and you're at the whim of your team. And if your team is going to say, you know, take a year to write this book. I wrote Just Ask Universe in 3 weeks. I
Mm.
was writing because I had all these screenplays I had in college, and I just took the screenplays. I started fleshing them out into novels, and that's what became my writing career. And like, it, you can't when you're published, you have to do what your publisher says, and your agent says your book's only 65,000 words. I need like 90. So like when you're self-published, man, I wrote Just Ask Universe was 100 pages. I put it out onto Amazon. It got linked up with The Secret and The Power of Your Subconscious Mind, and it shot up and it shot off, and it fueled my writing career. It wasn't a one and done type deal. But the idea that, well, when I'm a published author, then I'm going to be, then it's really going to start coming in. It's nothing like that at all. It's so different that I have an entertainment attorney. I have to get approval for everything I do from her,
Mm.
because they're guiding my career. So if I want to write a book called Just Ask the Archangels, I have to ask them, is this okay? Is this going to tarnish my like there's so much more than you can go today right now and say the second last law of attraction book you'll ever need to read. Okay? Which is actually like a really good idea. It's a really good idea for a book. You could call it the second, two with an N and a D, the second last law of attraction book you'll ever need. Which is actually like real. That should be like your.
At some point, people are like, "What's Andrew doing here?"
Yeah, right. The third last law of attraction book you're ever going to need to read. After the third one, you're done. But like, you can go and write that now, and foreseeably by August or September of this year, your book could be sent out to the world via Amazon, via whatever self-publishing platform that you're on.
Mm.
When you're published, I I have the first 2 books of this were published, and I bought the rights back because this whole movie thing is happening. I have book 3 of this, which is over 100,000 words, my biggest book I've ever written, and the manuscript is just sitting and waiting until these find a home again. There's so much to it, and it's
Got it.
fun, it's exciting, but I have to be. I don't know when Just Ask the Archangels are going to come out. I don't know if my team is going to allow me to
Mm.
say no, 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 no. You focus on Monsterland. Like
Does that mean you haven't written it, or you have written it and you're just waiting
started it.
for?
No, no, no. I started. I've already. I'm a few chapters in,
Cool.
but again, I have another manuscript called Drag Down Deep, which is a cryptozoology thriller set in the Hamptons, a techno cryptozoology thriller about this professor. Think Indiana Jones meets the creature from the Black Lagoon. and he I wrote this 100,000 page novel, and I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting for my agent to say, okay, HarperCollins wants it, or if I self-published that, that would have been out last year already. But I can't do any of that now. Um, per my team, it's a different vibe. But I
And
highly recommend that you should definitely do the second Last Law of Attraction book.
we'll see if I'm inspired to do something.
Yeah,
But I will say this. I am I'm so it's so funny. It's like I'm so happy with how my book came out, and it's a tough thing when you're an author. You want to be even self-critical. Like I'll give it a new read every couple months just to make sure that
same.
it's
I
still
still
zinging.
read. I still read Just Ask the Universe after 10 years. I still
Yeah,
read it once or
it's
twice a year.
important. It's important to keep yourself honest, right?
Yep.
I'm so like even if I would write something, I'm so excited about this right now. It's like I'm just riding that wave, and
Amazing.
I really appreciate like how prolific you are, and also
Thank you.
I appreciate just the message you've given today. I mean, obviously there's a certain level of just just asking your universe, being an open invitation, but also simultaneously doing the work, but a labor of love, not work that doesn't resonate, that's out of integrity with who you are, but work where it's like, listen, I've got this book and I'm waiting for Just Ask the Archangel. I'm waiting because being published is in integrity with who I am. Doing it this way, it works. Would I like to do X, Y, Z and have it come back? Yeah, but all these other pieces, like this is how I want it. I'm happy with it. So I'm doing it this way. I'm not saying, oh, this isn't perfect. I'm following along this path. And I know that when that book comes out, it'll be at the perfect time to help the right people who will perfectly find it at the time when that message will resonate the most and have the most impact. And in the meantime, I've got all this other stuff. That's the attitude I'm getting off of you.
Yeah, man.
With that in mind, because we've covered so much here, and I kind of knew going in because every interview is different because every guest is different. I
Sure.
figured this would be a nice conversational thing where little gold nuggets will kind of like find their way through,
Hmm.
and we'd bring examples and things that happened so perfectly, which you did flawlessly. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
What's like one go away piece of advice that you'd either want to reinforce or reintroduce or introduce regarding just the law of attraction, since people here for law of attraction channel, like what in your mind pops out that you want to say to people as a go away thing here?
Law of attraction. I mean, make it the foundation for your life without being trapped in the law of attraction hamster wheel. And I've spoken about this on my podcast. People will go, and it's easy to do this. People will go, and they'll buy Just Ask the Universe or the Last Law of Attraction book, and they're going to read it, and then they're going to buy another book, and they're going to buy another book, and they're going to buy, and they're going to keep reading, and they're going to keep reading, and they're going to keep reading and reading and reading, and they're going to keep listening to podcasts, and they're not going to implement a goddamn thing. They are going to get stuck in this law of attraction. They're saying, I believe in the law of attraction, but they're not implementing any of it in their life. And if people want to, and they're stuck in this wheel, and they're not using it as a guidepost, right? They're not using it as a gaslit post to take you on your journey. They're stuck, and they're saying, I believe in the law of attraction. Law of attraction is real. Law of attraction is real. What do you have to show for it? What do you have to show for it? Did you write a book? Did you start a podcast? Did you start a TikTok channel? Did you manifest the dream job you wanted? Did you do any of this? No, I'm just reading all these books. Don't get stuck in the hamster wheel because of self-help, because it's very easy to. It's very easy to just keep reading and reading and reading and not implementing anything, because you're reading going, oh my God, it's real, it's real, it's real, it's real. And then putting the book down and forgetting about it, and not living that life. You have to live the life of law of attraction without being law of attraction is real. Law of attraction. No one talks like that. You don't wake up in the morning going, law of attraction is real. I'm grateful. Law of attraction is real. I'm great. No, you get up, you make yourself breakfast, maybe you work out a little bit, you write a book, you get on your blog, you do your YouTube stuff, you do whatever you do, you're living proof that it works, and you're implementing it without being nuts about it.
Mm.
People won't do that. People won't take the action to to get to that next level. I wrote down, I want an agent, and I got it. It's nothing like what you think it is, but still, I wanted a film agent. I wanted a manager. I wanted a lit agent. I got all that stuff. Didn't come to me. I worked my ass off to get it. I wrote the books, right? If you want to, if you want the last law of attraction book you ever need to read to be a global phenomenon, you better work for it. And you better get your name on YouTube everywhere. And you better network and you better link up with everyone you can. Because if you just go, I wrote a book, I'm done, the book's going to get lost like you are. Not saying, I'm just using you as an example. I'm
Mhm.
not saying, I think what you're doing is fabulous. Having your own YouTube channel, yes, A plus. Eric and I are doing that. My brother and I are doing that. We're trying to build a brand. We're trying to peel back the curtain on our family business. Our family business was never on social media growing up. Our dad was anti social media. The, my the big joke was my dad said, when I'm dead, you can go on social media. Well, guess what? We buried him on February. He died on February 2nd. On February 5th, Eric and I opened LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook accounts, and we started promoting the shit out of who we were. And you know
Mhm.
what? It was worth its weight. It was priceless. Social media was priceless to us. Um, but I think that people get stuck and people don't implement what the law of attraction really is about. And it's
Mhm.
about action. It's about getting up and starting your YouTube channel, getting up and starting your TikTok channel, getting up and applying for a job that you're gonna love, or starting a business that you're gonna love. I was so proud of my haircut guy. I found out the other day that he's opening a new shop in another town. So he's opening a second location,
Love
and
it.
yeah, and it's because in my book I said, you know, you're successful at one, double down, go more, go bigger. I'm a gambling man. I play poker and craps, and obviously I haven't been to a casino in a year because of COVID. But I love gambling. I love Vegas and Mohegan Sun. I love to gamble. It's fun. Not I know my limits. I'm not addicted to it. But if the table's hot, and if I'm betting $5, which I don't bet, but if I'm betting $5 and the table's hot, I'll go to 10. The table's hot, take it from 10, go to 20. It's called pressing your bets. Press your bets in your life
Mm.
and elevate your life. And sometimes you're going to lose. That's what life is about. I lost my father. I'm still here. I'm still pressing forward. I'm still starting the businesses I've always wanted to start. Trying to turn this baby into a movie. Monsterland, baby.
I love it.
Doing it. You going to come to the premiere?
Hell yeah. I'm down. I'm holding you to that.
If I can have it unlimited. Listen, my joke on Facebook. I'm friends with many different people on Facebook. I'm like, man, when I get to that like Stephen King level, like I want to like I'm just gonna throw a party in like Vegas for everyone. I don't care. Just I'm gonna invite everyone I can. Just be like, yo, there's I'm gonna go to see the a Raiders game with 5,000 of my closest friends. Just like
Oh
who
man,
cares?
I'm there. I'm
Yeah.
there. And by the way, these interviews, the biggest challenge for me sometimes is like, how do I title it? Because I don't want to title just the author and the name of their book, because that, you know, it's almost deceptive. And I'm thinking, hearing what you're saying in this answer right now, we might title this video "Just Ask the Universe" and just do it, because that's
Just
the
do
vibe
it.
I'm getting from you.
That's exactly right, man. It's easy to ask the universe. The universe wants to give you everything you want. The archangels want to give you everything you want. The archangels aren't going to wave a magic wand. This is what's really important. The universe isn't going to wave a magic wand and go, "Here's your $1 million, dude." It doesn't work like that. The universe is going to help you help yourself. The universe is going
Mm,
to pop a book in front of your face. The archangels are going to pop a diet plan in front of your face. And it's going to go, "Oh, that's what they meant."
right.
That's what is. You're not going to say to the archangels, "I want to lose 50 pounds," and wake up the next day and be 50 pounds. Like it doesn't work like that. The universe. I make a joke and just ask the universe, saying, you ask the universe for a new car and a new wife and the house, and you wake up the next day and it's all piled neatly into the corner of your house. You got it all. It's bullshit. It doesn't work like that. You have to work. Just do it. I don't want to sound like all like Nike and everything, but like yes, you have to work and you have
Yeah.
to enjoy the process.
And the message I get from you is like, this is just about, listen, like you just said, the universe is in your corner. It's going to send you resources. It's going to, and there are certain things that I
Right.
believe are going to magically happen. You just don't want to depend on that exclusively. There, I mean, in my life, things have magically happened, but they would not have magically happened if I was not engaging and going all in and doing my part. So what I get from you in saying this is, listen, lean into life. Don't waste this opportunity. You know, law of attraction, wake up every day, and as you're making your coffee, you're doing it with as the living embodiment of the understanding that this is happening already. So it's not a stressed out, lackful, oh my god, it's real. It's a relaxed, like, yeah, it's this is still real, everything's all good, I'm gonna enjoy my cup of coffee, and then I'm gonna continue to engage, and I'm gonna continue to have gratitude, and I'm gonna go in these processes, and I'm gonna visualize, and I'm gonna script, I'm gonna do whatever of these things feel good for me and feel right for me. And if it's only one of them, all the better, because I only need to do one of them in terms of my work with the universe. And then I'm just going to do whatever work is in front of me, if I even want to call it work.
Andrew, people have to stop thinking the law of attraction is a thing. The law of
Mhm.
attraction is everything. Okay. It's not a thing. It's not, oh, a law of attraction is a book. No, it's not. The law of attraction is everything. It's how you live your life. It's how you
Wow.
get up in the morning. It's how you react to people and problems. It's how you react to stress. The law of attraction is everything. And people have to know that that's the foundation for my life. And I don't live my life because I read a book or I wrote a book. I live my life every day like that. That the law of attraction is everything. And that's what I want to leave the audience with.
Michael, I want to selfishly take some time with you off camera. And with that in
Yeah.
mind, I could not think of a better note to end this interview on than what you just said there. So thank you for coming on. Thank you for sharing so much wisdom. We're going to talk later. I'm going to put as many relevant links as possible in the YouTube description here, including maybe in like your mom's link. But obviously, the thing that started this conversation was just ask the universe. And I really appreciate you, Michael. Thank you so much for sharing not just your wisdom, but sharing your attitude and your approach, because people don't even have to do it your way or my way, but I would hope that they take something from it, or they inspired in some way to do it their way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm just, I'm a normal guy from a normal home, from family business that made shit work for him. And every no, everyone out there saying it won't work for me, it's working right now. You don't know it. And the tools are out there. I love that you and I connected. We're bros for life. We just had you on our show. I'm so grateful that you allowed me to come on this show. And, I can't wait to do it again. I can't, we're New Yorkers, Northeasters, I should say. So like, we're definitely, we're going to get together sooner than later. I'm looking forward to it when all this COVID bullshit's over.
With that's my friend. Thank you so much. This has been awesome.
Thank you. Appreciate it.